Carolers, wreath, hot cocoa, police tape, house rose, snowman, candle line. Notice: SCP-784 is a winter neighborhood in Texas where snow sits knee-deep and 24 homes glow with dense lights all year. If you say Happy Holidays at the wrong door, the town teaches you what cheer means. Carolers. The people here wear gift sweaters and know every verse by heart, and your safety rises or falls with the way you sing. The concrete rule arrives fast and petty. A patrol once said Happy Holidays to a smiling neighbor and did not return until morning dressed like everyone else. That is what passes for diplomacy in this place. The pressure is precision under performance. You are not judged on volume but on exact lines, and mistakes are punished quietly and thoroughly. Sing the wrong verse, and cords of lights tighten around your arms, while more voices swell to cover your surprise. No one shouts. They just correct you into the nearest living room. Mechanically, the town runs on consensus and choreography. When the sun drops, every threshold listens for key words and cadence, and any human who flinches or fakes becomes the evening project. You cannot out-argue people who treat cheer as policy. You can only meet the note or be escorted. Pushback says acting excited will carry you through. It will not. The test is not mood. The test is ritual, and ritual leaves no space for improv. Nearest neighbors like small cult towns rely on leaders. This place functions like a choir where every voice knows when to breathe. The impact is simple. You either match their line or vanish into a song you did not choose. Button. Learn the carols perfectly or plan for a door you will not leave for hours. Wreath. The green ring on the door is not decoration, but a knock filter that expects a script. If you greet the house correctly, the corridor opens. If you greet it poorly, the corridor becomes a funnel, and hands appear where curtains just twitched. The town wants the first sound from your mouth to prove you belong. The measurable pressure is first contact. Your breath fogs, your fingers go numb. You need the greeting clean on the first try. Under the hood, the social trap is a front porch you cannot back away from without looking rude, and rude is what wakes the street. The counterclaim says silence can save you. Silence reads as sullen, sullen reads as unseasonal. In a place that decorates outsiders at night, failing to speak is its own confession. Compared to other small-town hazards, this one feels polite while it erases your options. Button. Treat every doorstep like a checkpoint with code words, not a welcome. Hot cocoa. The cup looks like comfort and acts like consent. The townsfolk press it into your hands and smile in a way that hides how heavy the mug really is. At other times, they trade the drink for eggnog and insist you finish. People who swallow wake up wearing a sweater and a new opinion about caroling. The pressure is chemistry disguised as hospitality. You are judged on how fast you drink and how warmly you thank them, and the room smells like sugar while your eyelids turn to sand. Under the hood, this is sedation delivered through tradition, and it is hard to refuse a ritual with steam on it. Pushback says take the cup and fake sips. That trick fails when 10 hands keep topping you off and a child watches like a referee who never blinks. Neighbors like bake sales and church coffee hour prepare you to be polite. Here, politeness is the tag on a net. Button. Never take the mug unless you are ready to sleep in someone else's house. Police tape. The yellow stripe around the block tells outsiders to keep away, but the town reads it as challenge, not warning. A neat perimeter calms a visiting mind and raises a neighborhood that wants to expand one house at a time. By morning, your tape turns into garland, and your cones wear bows. The pressure is false safety. You believe distance is a plan, then lights string themselves across your vehicle, and a team in sweaters calls this festive. Under the hood, enforcement here is positive action. They redecorate anything that resists, until resistance looks seasonal. Pushback says add more tape and post signs. Signs become ornaments. Tape becomes ribbon. Compared to riots or mobs, this is gentler to watch and worse to survive, because every correction looks like a favor. The impact is a perimeter you thought you owned becoming an invitation you did not write. Button. Your line means nothing if their lights cross it. House rose. Lines of bulbs drape every eave at a density that blurs edges, and the block stays between ankle and shin deep in clean snow no matter the month. The grid is more than pretty. It is a metronome that sets tempo for patrols and cues for applause when a window performance begins. The pressure is timekeeping without clocks. You learn to read the neighborhood by light patterns and how the air feels before a new event. Under the hood, the system is environmental control, disguised as decor. When a whole street inhales at once, the song is about to start, and you had better be on the right lyric. Pushback says, ignore the show and walk through. Ignoring a show is the fastest way to become the next show. Nearest neighbors like amusement park parades use the same crowd psychology, but those end on schedule. This does not end, and it does not need a permit to restart. Button. If a row of houses brightens in sequence, you are already late to whatever they expect from you. Snowman. The grin looks hand-cut and harmless until the head turns a hair toward you. The lawn people here are not props. They are watchmen that never blink, and their stone-button eyes learn the shape of your hesitation. If you curse when you slip, the nearest door opens and 2 sweaters walk you inside to try again at being cheerful. The pressure is surveillance with a smile. You swear, you sag, you exhale wrong, and the street adjusts around you. Under the hood, detection spreads across dozens of tiny judgments that add up to a verdict the moment your mouth forgets whom it serves. Pushback says hold the act and you are safe. That works until fatigue chips the mask and the mask cuts your lip on the next syllable. Compared to cameras, these wardens change your behavior by staring from the ground, which is why you keep forgetting they count. Button. Do not feed the grin with anything it can report. Candle line. At midnight, a row of wax and flame travels along the sidewalk like a vein lighting up. The town loves this ritual, and if you are on the street, you will be handed a candle and a verse to carry. Refuse and hands move you. Accept and you join a river with no exits until the last hymn lands on the last doorstep. The pressure is endurance inside pageantry. Your arm burns, your pitch wobbles, and the wax drips faster when fear breathes on the flame. Under the hood, this is a compliance march through the entire block, an inspection dressed in gold. Pushback says step backward into shadow. The line bends. People you did not notice 2 minutes ago are suddenly to your left and right, and now you are in the center where the heat is worse. Neighbors like processions give you time to duck away. This one only opens the circle to close it around you. Button. If you take the candle, plan to finish the route or be finished by it. Notice. Every pole displays neat paper about fines, events, and cheerful requirements written in tiny lines that never end. The details bury traps like what to say, where to stand, which color sweater pairs with which hymn. After sunrise, your brief lapse becomes a printed rule for tomorrow. The pressure is compliance that grows when you breathe. Today's accommodation turns into tomorrow's mandate, and you will swear the fonts are smaller than they were. Under the hood, this is bureaucratic snow, and it does not melt, it stacks. Pushback says laws you did not consent to cannot bind you. That is a street fantasy that loses to a neighborhood that treats tradition as enforcement. Nearest neighbors like homeowner associations will argue, this place edits you. The impact is personal. Cheer becomes homework, and homework becomes personality. Button. The fine print writes you into the choir unless you leave before it finds your name. Here is a curiosity loop to pay off. If the town punishes you for singing poorly, why not stay quiet and let the night pass? You now know silence translates to sullen, and sullen becomes a project the whole block loves. Quiet is simply another wrong answer. Another loop closes on hospitality. If the cocoa puts you in a sweater by dawn, why not accept the mug and rest? Because rest erases the part of you that wanted to leave, and the morning version of you will thank the neighbors for their kindness while packing lights into your own car. A field tech in a red scarf stands at a wreath and whispers Merry Christmas under his breath to practice, then knocks. When the door opens and 3 harmonies rise, he hits every word of Good King Wenceslas with a smile that feels nailed to his face. His voice shakes on the last line. The door still closes. A junior agent stumbles on an icy patch, blurts a curse too loud, and freezes when a snowman's shadow seems to inch toward the curb. Across the street, a child waves from a window and a woman carries a steaming mug toward the porch with patience that feels like gravity. He forces a cough into a carol and backs away without blinking. Do not glamorize harm. Focus on craft, logic, and psychology. Your goal is to pass the test without feeding the system that writes new tests while you sleep. The final act begins with rules you can survive. Memorize the carols like a manual and never riff. Greet every wreath with the exact words you practiced. Refuse warm drinks with a joke about a sensitive stomach and keep moving. Treat tape as ribbon and never trust a border that looks official. When a row of houses brightens in sequence, you step into the chorus for one verse and slide out at the next corner. Do not stare at the grinning yard. Do not accept the candle unless you can carry heat for an hour. Read the notices at dawn with someone watching your back, and leave before the committee prints a new line with your name on it. The strongest detail lands late and reframes the whole street. Once a month, the neighborhood tries to spread, walking out with lights to annex the next block into smiling obedience. That is why containment uses Santa suits, carols about peace, and eggnog laced with sleep. You cannot fight a choir with a shout. You have to lower the key until the voices fold. Nearest neighbors, like cursed towns and haunted suburbs, come with a single face to blame. This one arrives as a crowd that never dies and never admits it needs to. That is what makes it patient. That is what makes it hard. Carry the portable rules. Speak their script, then leave before the script becomes yours. If you must enter, dress like you belong, sing like you mean it, drink nothing, and mark your exit when the light grid is at its brightest. When the candle line blooms, you should already be a mile away. Final button. In SCP-784, cheer is a blade with a ribbon on the handle. Smile the way they expect, step where they cannot correct you, and keep walking until the snow turns back into weather.